Well, this isn't exactly how I planned to spend this cruise. Hey cruisers, welcome back to another cruise report, and it is day 8, I believe, of our Viking Homelands cruise on Viking Mars. And we found out this morning that Ricky and I both have tested positive for COVID-19. So we got the Rona. Now, let me give you the background. Ricky has been feeling bad for a couple of days. She did get off the ship and go into Berlin, and she seemed to feel pretty good. She was able to walk, and she had a little bit of a headache, and wasn't feeling great, but she wasn't bedridden. I, on the other hand, had virtually no symptoms at all. And then yesterday when we were in Copenhagen, I felt fine. Got up, did my thing. Ricky, however, stayed in the stateroom. In fact, she was off camera in the bed resting while I was making the video yesterday. And I would have to stop every now and then. I edited it out because she would start coughing. She has had a pretty bad cough, a really bad sore throat, bad headache. I actually got off the ship yesterday. I did a tour in Copenhagen, and I tried to get the guide to let me know where, or tell me where a pharmacy was in Copenhagen, so I could maybe get some cough medicine or some over-the-counter cold meds. And he wasn't much help, unfortunately. It was a Saturday, so I went back into town on my own on the ship's shuttle, their complimentary shuttle, and I was using Apple Maps and Google Maps to try to find a pharmacy. And I only found 2. I had to walk like 2.5 miles. And I only found 2, but they were both closed. So I don't know if they typically close on Saturdays in this part of the world. So I was unable, I came up short. I did go to a grocery store and found some cough lozenges, like Hall's lozenges. And I think that might have helped a little bit with her cough and her sore throat, but not enough. So today the ship is in Aalborg, Denmark, and I was going to get off the ship and start looking for a pharmacy. I started doing some research online, and I can't find any pharmacy that's open on Sunday. So made the decision to go ahead and go down to the medical center, take Ricky down there. I still felt pretty good. I have maybe a mild headache and this morning, but nothing like what Ricky has. And I mean, she was up all night coughing. She doesn't feel good. So we went to the medical center here on Viking Mars, met with a nurse, and of course the first thing they did was took Ricky into an exam room and gave her an antigen test, a rapid antigen test, and it immediately came back positive. And then they came out, they wanted to do the saliva test, the PCR test. The reason I'm going through all of this is because if you're on a cruise, what happens if you're on a cruise and you get COVID, especially if you're on a Viking cruise? So this might be good information for some of those of you who are planning to travel, and just give you a little knowledge of what the process is, because I really wasn't aware of what the process was. We thought maybe they're going to throw us off the ship. We didn't know. They gave me the little vial to spit into to do the PCR test, and they gave Ricky the PCR test as well, because it's just a second way to make sure. It's like a backup, and it's a more accurate test anyway. So I gave them my PCR test, and Ricky gave them her PCR test, and they told me that we would have, or they told us that we would have our results back by 4 o'clock today. It's now about 1 o'clock, and I think about maybe 45 minutes ago I got a call from the nurse saying that we did both test positive and from the PCR tests. Now, we were told at the medical center after we had our tests that we needed to go back to our stateroom and stay in the stateroom, basically a quarantine, until those test results came back. And if I tested negative and was asymptomatic, I could continue to go on around the ship and, like normal. But that if I tested positive, like Ricky, that I'm basically quarantined, and the quarantine lasts for 5 nights. Now, we're only on, I think, for 6 more nights. So pretty much the remainder of the cruise, we're locked down in our stateroom. Now, let me tell you a little about the experience at the medical center. I think the nurse, she was a little hard to understand. There was a little bit of a language barrier. Obviously, English was not her first language, but she was very polite, very thorough, seemed to know what she was talking about. We did not see the doctor. I think he stepped into the room where Ricky was briefly, but he went and got the meds. And they did give us some medication. So I'll show you what they gave us. The first thing are some daytime cold capsules. These look like over-the-counter products to me. I'm sure they are. It's called Day Nurse. I'm sure it's a European version of what you would probably get in the U.S. And this is to take during the day. And it basically is for tickly cough, shivers, aches and pains, blocked or runny nose. So it's probably got some sort of antihistamines and decongestants, I'm assuming. Sore throat pain and headache. So I'm sure it has acetaminophen or something in it. And then at night, they gave us a package of these pills called Panadol. I'm not familiar with that name either. And it's basically paracetamol and diphenhydramine. Nighttime pain relief, probably designed to help you sleep a little better. And so they gave us those, and they told me that I could take these as well. You may notice I'm also a little hoarse today. I am now starting to get just a very mild cough, not nearly as bad as what Ricky has, but I do have a slight cough. It's not unusual for me to be congested anyway, so that's pretty normal. They also gave us some cough expectorant, like a cough syrup called Caraway, and basically to loosen any congestion in your chest and soothe, a cough. And so basically that we can take as well. So those are the 3 medications they gave us. They did, when he called, or I think it was a male nurse, when he called, he told me that if we need more medication, they'll be glad to deliver it to the stateroom. I'm waiting to receive a letter. He said we'd be getting a letter that has all the phone numbers and extensions that we need to, if we need to contact room service or beverage services, housekeeping, whatever, they've done this before. And if we needed any more medications, to let them know, they'd bring them to us. There's no charge for these medications. I don't know if there was a charge for that office visit this morning. I suspect probably not, but I'm not 100% sure, but I'll let you know in a future video. Which brings up another point. This is why I always say, if you're passionate about cruising, you're interested in this topic, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click that subscribe button down below and that notification bell, and that way you'll know when we come out with these new videos, because I will be updating you. Now, I didn't really feel that good when I started to make this video. So before I did the video, I took a Tylenol. I've been able to get by okay with just like 1 Tylenol. I don't even think I've taken one today, so that's my first one today. So my symptoms right now are much, much milder than Ricky's. We are pretty much locked down for the next 5 days. My understanding is that room service, we'll find out. When I get the letter, I'll find out what our options are as far as food. We did have breakfast delivered today. They do a very good job with room service from what we've experienced. We've only had breakfast delivered. I may actually order some lunch here in a little bit, maybe get a burger or something delivered. I'm not sure what my options are. So that's our COVID story right now. I wouldn't say that either one of us are deathly ill. I've been fully vaccinated. I have not been boosted. Ricky has been fully vaccinated and has had the one booster. But my understanding is that this new variant that's now circulating the globe is immune to those vaccines anyway. So I don't know if the vaccines had any impact at all on this new variant. My understanding is, from what I've been seeing on TV and on the internet, is it's not impacted by the vaccine. In fact, they don't even have a current vaccine for it yet. I know what some people are going to ask is, you know, who do we blame? Who's at fault here? And I may have even mentioned this in a previous video. There's not a lot of social distancing going on right now. This ship has about 780 people on board, and we were on one tour where there were 50 people on the bus. The bus was completely full. And we've been on buses where, in fact, every coach we've been on so far, somebody, at least 1, 2, or 3 people have been coughing. That just is going to happen. And that's going to happen anytime. But in the day and time we live in now, you tend to pay more attention to it. Who do you blame? I don't blame Viking. I don't hold them responsible. It's a virus. If I blame anybody, I blame China. You know, they're the ones that created and released this thing, so or let it get out, however it got out. So I don't, you know, I'm not laying any blame at the feet of any cruise line. This is just, it's just the world we live in right now. Now, what I would suggest, if you're planning on cruising right now, since this BA 2.75 variant is apparently very, very contagious, I would think twice about traveling internationally. Viking has said nothing about making us get off the ship and stay in a hotel or anything like that. Now, I don't know what happens when we get to Norway at the end of the cruise. You're just going to have to watch the next videos to see how that ends up. But my understanding from what I've been told so far is, you can hear Ricky over there coughing right now. And me. And I'm sorry to put that on video, but I think it might be important for you to see it. I don't know. Who cares? But my understanding is we will not be tested again. And if at the end of the 5 nights, if neither one of us is symptomatic, then we're free to do whatever we want to do at that point. So we'll just have to see how that goes and how this all plays out. Like I say, this is new territory. We've never done this before. But I think it's important information for those of you that are planning a cruise. The other thing I would recommend is, if you're immunocompromised at all, and I would include in that just anybody that's really seriously obese, because that is a big factor apparently. I would avoid going on coach excursions, any kind of a short excursion where you have to get on a motor coach. Now, we've done some excursions on this trip where you just get off the ship and it's a walking tour. And you can keep your distance from people on a walking tour because you're outside. You've got a big sidewalk and you've got the quiet vox, so you can hear up to 100 yards away if you need to. And that's the way my tour was yesterday in Copenhagen. And I just instinctively stay away from the group anyway. I always have. Social distancing was nothing new to me. I'm not big on crowds anyway. I don't like crowds of people. I always try to get away from everybody. It's, you know, when we go to a restaurant, we always sit way off in the corner by ourselves. We've been doing that for years. We don't like being around the crowds because we don't like the noise anyway. Some people do. Some people are very social and they want to get right up next to everybody and love hugs and kisses and all that. And we're just not that kind of people. I would say, as far as I can tell, Vikings, this is pretty impressive the way they're handling this. Their medical team apparently is very well aware of what they're doing. They had the medications ready. They're aware of the situation. They've already canceled all of our shore excursions for the next 5 days. We did not have any shore excursions that we had paid for. The paid shore excursions we've already done. The only shore excursions we have remaining are included. They're free anyway, so there was no problem there. But she did say that any shore excursions would automatically be canceled and we would be refunded the money. So I thought that was nice. We do have travel insurance, just to let you know. So I don't know if there's going to be any additional costs involved. We did pay for the Silver Spirits package, which is the drink package. And I don't care how sick I am, I'm having my, Crown Royal every night. But I don't know if I can. I don't know if they'll deliver liquor to the stateroom through room service. We're going to find out. That'll be one of the first things I find out after 5 o'clock tonight, my happy hour. So we'll see if they do that or not. I'm anxious to get this letter and read through it. In my next video, I will read that letter to you so you know all the protocols, all what they're doing. But it appears right now, they've been in touch with us. They've called a couple of different times. They're aware of the situation. They're handling it. Our room steward knows the situation. He came in today and took care of cleaning up the room, did a great job. Everybody that we've been in touch with since this happened has been very nice, very polite, and it appears like, we're just trying to make the best of a bad situation. We could be in worse places. I'd much rather be in a nice balcony stateroom on Viking Ocean cruises than in a inside stateroom or an ocean view stateroom on a lot of ships. We've got a big screen television, we've got internet, I've got Wi-Fi, I can do my videos, I can upload my videos, I'll get a lot of work done, and we've got the meds, and I think hopefully Ricky will be feeling better by tomorrow, and we'll just have to wait and see. But I will update you on that. We'll probably do another video tomorrow. Say one more thing about masks, because I know somebody's going to put that in the comments. Were we wearing masks? Or were other people? There is no mask requirement on this cruise. Now, what I'm about to tell you, I'm not a medical doctor, okay? I'm not a scientist. But personally, I don't think the masks would have made a bit of difference one way or the other. We could have worn these little, I don't have one here, but these little, hang on. Now, I know some people argue that, but this thing right here, which is, what everybody wears, these little paper surgical type masks, you're not going to convince me that that's going to stop that virus. All you have to do is a Google search to see how small the openings are on one of these masks, and then how small the virus molecules are, and you'll see that a coronavirus molecule is about 1/50th to 1/100th the size of the openings in this mask. So it's like trying to stop mosquitoes with a chain link fence. It just doesn't do anything, I don't think. Now, that's just my personal opinion. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to give you medical advice, but I don't personally feel like our results would have been any different had we been wearing masks. Now, a lot of people are wearing masks on the cruise just because they believe they do work and makes them feel better. Now, the crew are all wearing masks. They're all wearing the N95 masks, which are certainly more effective than these. I personally don't think these are effective at all. The N95 masks might have some positive benefits. So that's our story right now. Like I said, it's a virus. It happens. This is the world we live in right now, and you can't run from it. You're probably going to get it. In fact, I would say this, if you go on a cruise or if you travel at all right now, you get on an airplane full of people, or you get out in any kind of crowds full of people, you're probably going to get COVID at some point. You just need to accept it. It's just something that's going to happen. And fortunately, this new strain, this BA.275, and I'm sure hopefully the ones that come after it, are not as deadly or as serious or as severe as the early strains like the Delta and the Beta and the Alpha and all that. So That's good news. Right now, I would say it feels like we have a cold. Okay, so Ricky's, like I said, a little bit more serious, much more serious than I am, but she's surviving. She can eat. She can get up and walk around. She's not to the point where she's completely bedridden. So she can breathe. Neither one of us have any shortness of breath. The lungs appear to be okay. So I think that's the biggest concern with any kind of flu or any kind of virus like this is pneumonia, because that's what kills you. COVID doesn't kill you. It's the pneumonia that kills you. And you can get that with just a regular flu. So anyway, enough of my ranting about medical things I know nothing about. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please click that like button. That does help our channel. And stay tuned for the next episode in this drama that is our Viking Mars cruise. See you on the next Cruise Report.